Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. It is a pleasure to speak to you. I truly adore this show. It is something that's refreshing and new, and I love the kind of the take of a transplant being from, another refugee, someone out from out of the country trying to find their place in another country. And your character, I love so much. You're just incredible, strong, very assuring um, type of person. And my favorite episode so far was episode 2 with you. And we had to deal with the woman who was hemorrhaging, and she had so many issues. It was like, nope, this is a female doctor. We have to just trust us. Could you talk a little bit about how the show came to you, how you found the role?
Sure. Well, the role found me, I have to say. I was, up until recently, I also owned and operated my own martial arts academy with a partner. And at that time, we were in the middle of doing a bunch of renovations to expand the space. And an audition came in for a different role on the show. And I auditioned for it, sent it out, forgot about it, went back to doing these renovations. And then I think like a month later, I had been up for a lead role on a sci-fi show, and sci-fi and action has always been kind of my thing. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I got the letdown call, which was that, the role had gone to somebody else. And then, I think within hours, I got a phone call from my agent, Allie, saying that they wanted me to tape for another character on the transplant show. So I did. I put together a tape, and I kind of just did as much as I could. I sent out 28 takes, which is really unheard of. You're only supposed to send 1 or 2. You just sent everything, and it worked out. It worked out really well. I ended up getting the part. So it was great.
So when you're working, I've always wondered, when you're working on a show, especially that has to deal with medical terminology and a lot of doctors and stuff, how does that work when it comes to the memorization to make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're saying, and also to be confident in what you're saying? What process as an actress did you go through in order to do that?
The confidence is the big one. So I was concerned from the get-go about my ability to get the language down, remember the language, and say it as if I say these words all the time. I tend to be one of those people who, I guess I'm a little bit neurotic in the sense that I get stuck on things. So if I'm concerned about something, I'll almost project it out there, and then it'll happen, like a self-fulfilled prophecy, right? So, and then of course I have dyslexia. So when it comes to reading these words sometimes and all that kind of stuff, it's a challenge. It's a real thing that I'm dealing with. But I remember doing the audition and just kind of acting confident about my ability to say these words, and just not giving it any importance. And that actually really worked out for me. And so my strategy throughout filming was kind of, when I get the scripts, I read them overall. I understand what's going on. We have a fantastic team who helps us learn the actual procedures. So we actually know what the procedures are, what they mean. We have all the information we need, which helps.
Right.
And then for me, it's really a question of just focusing scene by scene on what I need to remember for that scene. And it's always very helpful to have a very supportive, fun-loving cast and crew who give you the space to make mistakes.
Right. Now, Now, what is it about Dr. Carter that you admire so much?
I love Dr. Curtis because, she is who she is. And I just, when you feel, I feel a lot of compassion for her. And I think that that's important when you're playing a character, to really be able to relate to them,
right,
and to understand them and to love them. You got to really love them, despite whatever crazy things they might do, and you don't necessarily agree with the things that they do or the way they handle situations, but you have to really love them and care about them and understand them. And so when it comes to June, I really do respect and love and care and understand her a lot. I don't want to give away too much, but I like the fact that she is very determined to be the best person that she can be. And I think that she's been really focused on being the best doctor that she can be. And I think that as she grows and evolves as a person, she's realizing that there's more to being the best version of yourself than just, your employment. And there's different ways in which a person needs to grow and evolve in order to be at their best. And so I like the fact that she doesn't kind of shy away from that. And in a weird way, she's also just very transparent. Like, you know,
Right.
you can trust her. She's going to tell you what it is as it is. And yeah, I like those things about her a lot.
Now, when it came to crafting the role and to really diving into the character, is there something in the character that we'll see on screen that is essentially that you added in?
Sorry, I don't know why that's on. But things that I added in. Okay, so here's the thing, like when it comes to, and this show is actually really good at doing that, is that it's a very collaborative process. So the writers create these amazing characters and these scripts that, like, I mean, you've seen the show. It's fantastic. And then my process as an actor is to bring as much personal experience and true kind of feeling and emotion into the character. And so there's a lot of like how much relating can I do on to everything that this character goes through. So there's a lot of me in June, a lot of this social kind of awkwardness is like a very real characteristic that I have. A lot of the kind of being like very, very hardworking, a bit of a workaholic. I, you know, had to deal with that. You know, intimacy issues. Like I can relate to her on so many different things, and it's actually been quite a therapeutic process for me. It's not the first time with a role, but extensively with June, it's given me an opportunity to really kind of explore myself and examine myself and share real deep parts of myself with the rest of the world through this character. So yeah.
Now, if you could sit down with June as you yourself with the character, what advice do you think you guys would give each other?
That's actually a great question. That's a really good question. I think I would tell June, I don't even know. I don't know. I feel like I want to kind of tell her to like loosen up a little bit. I don't know how well that would go over though.
But we kind of maybe see a hint of that when there's the guy who plays the security officer.
Lou,
Well,
yeah.
we don't know what's really going on, but you kind of like grab the hand and you're like, oh, and you say it with such confidence. What I love.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you know what, you're right. I think what I would tell June is that like, you're a lovable person. You're a lovable person. You're a good person. You're a likable person, and the world wants to know you. I think that's what I would tell her, because I don't know if she necessarily believes that. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't believe, right? And so I would want her to know that, and then hopefully that would encourage her to open up a little bit more.
Now, how would you describe June's perfect day?
As she is right now, I think her perfect day would be in surgery, where she gets to prove herself. She gets a complicated case, does a perfect job, and gets a pat on the back from Dr. Singh. I think that would be like the perfect day for her. That's what she's gunning for. I think that would make her very happy right now.
Now, is there a particular episode or scene that you was really excited to film?
I like the awkward moments with June. I like the scenes with her and Mags. I think that they're a great kind of balance with each other. And there's a lot of like watching two people kind of learn from each other or learn to bond. And there's a lot of fun quirkiness in there. But every day on set, honestly, was a challenge in one way or another. You know, all the medical stuff and these big trauma scenes that we've done and things like that as well. Yeah, well, there's a lot. I had a really good time filming the show, so it's hard to pick one. It really is.
What would you say is June's best and worst qualities?
Best and worst qualities. Best qualities is that she's very empathetic. She's very hardworking. She's dedicated, like I said, to being the best version of herself that she can be. I think that her worst qualities, I mean, she definitely needs to work on her social skills for sure. Intimacy is not a strength for her, and I think that that's kind of getting in her way. Um, and I think also, yeah, I don't know. I'd say that that's probably it. I don't think that she's motivated at this particular point in time to make those changes, but I don't know that that's a quality, like a personality defect as much as it's just like a situational thing for her right now. If that makes sense.
And lastly, if you could describe transplant using 3 words, what would you say?
I would say that it's authentic. I would say that it's relatable. And I would say that it is a third word, captivating.
I like those words very much. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you for speaking with me. I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem.
Thanks, Dana.